What's up guys? It's another day and another product review. So here in my hand I've got a smart remote similar to another remote that I reviewed previously from the same company, Sofabaton. That remote, the X1 smart remote, is the big brother of this remote. Now I dare to say that this is probably the more budget-friendly remote, yet it does have some of the same features that make the other remote great. This is the U2 smart remote from Sofabaton. And if you've got a ton of remotes laying around that you want to simplify down to a single remote at a much more affordable cost, then this might be the remote for you. Now most of us, including yourself, probably have a television with a bunch of accessories and hardware connected to it, like a receiver, a DVD player, a Blu-ray player, or really any infrared or Bluetooth device with a remote that you can potentially consolidate and simplify all those into one smart remote such as this one. If you do, stay tuned and we'll check this out to see what the U2 smart controller from Sofabaton has to offer. Okay, so right off the bat, this controller looks a little bit different than its larger, more expensive brother, which is the X1 smart remote that I reviewed in a previous video. Now, unlike the X1 remote, this one does seem to have a rounder body, but it does look like, according to the box, that it does maintain some of the similar functions and features. This version of the remote, however, costs roughly $60 on Amazon with an instant 10% coupon that you can apply if you decide you want to purchase this remote after this review. That puts this remote at about a quarter of the cost as its more expensive X1 counterpart. Now, because this remote is more affordable than its X1 counterpart, you are losing some features and capabilities, such as a hub, as well as the Wi-Fi capability, which, if I'm being honest, isn't too much of a big deal since most connected devices have infrared and Bluetooth nowadays anyways. Now, according to specs, this controller can support up to 50 devices and also does have customizable macro keys on the controller itself. So let's go ahead and unbox this to see what it looks like. Okay, so again, it's a pretty solid box made of some thick cardboard material. So you do get an instruction manual, and it looks like this one requires batteries, unlike the X1, which does not require you to replace batteries because you can just simply plug it in to recharge it. But this one itself probably looks like it requires batteries. It too can utilize the Sofabaton app, which is nice, and I already have that installed from the previous review. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at that. So it is a pretty smooth looking controller. It again is rounded off rather than a square like the previous version. It does come with two AA batteries, which is nice. So we'll go ahead and take these batteries out and install them. So one thing that I didn't expect was that there would be a built-in LCD screen on this remote itself. It is very discreet and just looks like a part of the remote. It doesn't even look like there's an actual screen there, but there is an LCD, so it's built underneath the glass of this remote, well, the plastic of this remote. So what's also nice is that it looks like it retained the dial from the more expensive model so that you can easily scroll through these different options. So aside from the instructions, there is also a message on the LCD itself telling you to connect the remote to the Sofabaton app. So basically you have to go into the Sofabaton app and then select the U1, U2 device, press the minus button. Where's that minus button? The minus button and E button at the same time. So press the two bottom left and right hand buttons together until the screen starts pairing. So you'll see a pairing message on the screen itself, and then it'll be detected by the app, and then you just click connect, and then it'll successfully connect. Once that's done, it encourages you to add devices. So again, we are adding devices either through infrared or Bluetooth. So you need to determine which devices are infrared, which devices are Bluetooth, and connect those accordingly to the remote itself. So you can add devices to this remote through one of three ways. You can either do it through one IR learning, which is basically just facing the other controller towards this controller and letting it sync that way. You can do it through IR matching, which is connecting it to the device itself by using the infrared scanner on the front of your device, or you can do it through Bluetooth mode. So either one of three ways can work for connecting devices to this remote. Okay, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to take my two Samsung TVs that I'm using as monitors, and I'm going to sync them with this new U2 smart remote. So the way I'm going to do that is through the IR matching mode, which is a method where I'm going to search for the device in the app itself and then connect it to this device. So I'm going to click infrared, I'm going to click searching, and then we're going to search through this database of all these different devices. So I'm going to click on Samsung TV. The model I have is the UN43. Okay, so found that. And it gives you a grid of all the controls for the controller itself. So I'm going to click next. I'm going to click Samsung monitors. I'm going to call them monitors because I'm not using them as televisions, or actually just Samsung TV. And then I'm going to select an icon, which they are TVs, so I'm going to keep that. So I'm going to click complete, and then it will download the code to the app itself. And then as it's doing that, it will also do that on the remote itself. So it's syncing both the app and the remote. So we'll just let it do that, and then once it's done, I should be able to control my TVs with the U2 remote as well. Okay, once it's done, you'll notice that it says Samsung TV on the remote LCD. So that means it's been added and it's complete in the app as well. So I should now be able to just control that television, and it works. It powers off the television or my monitors, and I can also power them on as well. So definitely works. And then this scroll wheel, as you add devices, will allow you to scroll through your different devices and select whichever device you want to control. So I'd say from a setup perspective, this one is just a little bit easier to set up than the X1, just because it doesn't have the trouble of the hub as well as being able to connect wireless devices. So there's just a lot more configurations available for the X1 than there is for this one, which makes it a little bit simpler. Now, another great feature about these remotes is that you can go into the app and you can customize the buttons on the remote themselves, which gives you a lot more flexibility and allows you to prioritize what you need from the remote itself. If you do want to program the remote itself and customize the keys, you click on Remote Keys, and then it allows you to select the keys itself and customize each of the different keys as different functions or macros. Now, the difference between this remote and the X1 is in this app, you will not be able to control your TV using the app itself. At least I don't think so. Yeah, so this app for this remote only allows you to program the remote itself. For this remote, for the X1 remote, not only does it allow you to program the remote, but you can also use the app as a remote as well because of the wireless hub. So that's the other benefit you're paying for when you're paying for 4 times the price for the X1 remote. But overall, I think from a usage perspective, this U2 remote pretty much covers everything you might need it for and allows you to consolidate and condense the different remotes that you have into one single remote. You can also combine all those functions into an activity so that using one button press, you can power on all your devices for a specific activity. So that is the other benefit that I like about this remote. Other than that, because I already have the X1 remote set up for my theater room, I'm I'm going to go ahead and use this remote on either my studio or in my guest bedroom, where I have several devices I can program into it. So I'm going to go ahead and take time to program other devices into this remote for one of my other rooms or even for my studio, and play around with it for a few more days. If there is anything that I find that either I don't like or something I did not realize, I'll make a follow-up video. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please support this channel by smashing that like button and subscribing. Please also make sure you ring that bell icon to get notified when I post new content. In addition to that, if you're interested in buying one of these remotes for yourself, I will leave a link to it in the description section below. Again, if you do decide that you want to purchase this U2 remote now, there is currently an additional 10% instant coupon available if you use my link below. Anyways, thanks for joining me on this unboxing, and I'll see you next time.